How's it going, YouTube? So, I've been trying to make this video for a while, and the reason why I'm struggling to make it is because I don't really know where to start. And it's going to be basically a story. The story about 9/11, why it happened. But to understand the 9/11, you have to literally go back to 1400 years ago. And that's not just all of it, that's just one bit of it. There's almost like 5 different stories that you need to understand that all merge into one story. So I'm not sure where to start, so I think I'm going to try and do it in chronological order. I'm going to try and start at the earliest. Now, Israel are involved, yeah, in 9/11. 100% Israel are involved. And Israel have existed for what? For 3,000 years. So if you really wanted to start chronologically, you'd start there, but I'm not getting into all that. So I think it's best to start with the Arabs, Saudi Arabia, as it's called today, a modern state of Saudi Arabia. But to understand Saudi Arabia, you have to understand Muhammad. Now, Muhammad, fucking hell, he was getting about telling everyone that he was getting revelations from the Archangel Gabriel. And, you know, not everybody believed him. Even people in his own family didn't believe him. Like, later on he married Aisha. And it was a political marriage. That's what people don't understand. The reason why he got married to Aisha when she was 6 is because it was a political marriage. The reason why he fucked her when she was 9 is because everyone was on his case to fuck her. It's like, bro, you need to consummate this marriage. If you don't consummate the marriage, there's no marriage. And they forced him into that. I wouldn't say they forced him. It was a political marriage. It was an alliance, right? And Aisha's dad, after Muhammad died, Aisha's dad went to war in Muhammad's name. And Aisha's dad became the first caliph. And Muhammad tied Aisha's hijab to a pole and used it as his flag. And that's where the black flag of Islam comes from. It's Aisha's hijab, right? And it was Aisha's dad who went on the warpath and became the first caliph, right? And I think after him there was 2 more in that dynasty. The first caliphate was set up by Aisha's dad after Muhammad's death. And it didn't last long. It fell. The first caliphate fell. And then after the first caliphate came the second caliphate, which was the Abbasids. Now, the Abbasids, they was blood relatives of Muhammad. They were Arabs who were blood relatives of Muhammad, and their flag was green, right? So, Abbas, when Muhammad was saying that he got a revelation off the Archangel Gabriel, Abbas said, "No, did you fuck? I don't believe you, you're chatting shit." And Abbas had a war with Muhammad before. So there was tension between the Abbasids, and you have the green flag, and the Aisha's followers, you have the black flag. And after the black flag fell, the Abbasids took over, and the Abbasids, who had by this time converted to Islam and became followers of Muhammad because it gave them a lot of power, they then set up the next caliphate, right? And the Abbasids went on the fucking warpath like Genghis fucking Khan. They conquered a massive, massive territory. And what happened with any large empire is they faced loads of rebellions. And the rebellions were vast. They was in a bad way, you know. And what they ended up doing is getting a load of mercenaries from round here, right, to come and help them. They got a load of Turkish armies to come and help them. And eventually, the Turks took over from the Abbasids. The Turks are ruthless bastards, yeah. They was ruthless bastards. They were very powerful and very ruthless. Far, far worse than the Arabs. And before the Turks took over, like the Saudis and the Islamists had conquered all the way up into Persia, and they'd managed to convert everyone in Persia. And then Persia became Islamic. And eventually, that massive, like, empire was ruled by the Turks. And they had all of Persia, they had all of Saudi Arabia, they had all of the Holy Land, all of North Africa. And everyone else was like their fucking slave. They give it to the Arabs. They proper put the Arabs to the sword and put them under the boot and put a yoke on them. And that lasted until the British came along. Now, in the Islamic world, the Turks have the red flag. So you have the green flag, you have the black flag, and you have the red flag. And they're all the colours that are on the Palestine flag, right? But the Arabs, Saudi Arabia, they have a green flag, because that's the Abbasids. The Turks have a red flag, because they're the Turks. And ISIS, the Sunnis, they all have a black flag, right? So these three flags are still in play today. And when you see the Palestine flag, that is people trying to unify all of the Islamic world into a caliphate. They're trying to unify the green flag, the black flag, and the red flag. And Saudi Arabia ain't having that. Saudi Arabia only have green on their flag, right? Iran, they don't have black on their flag, because they're not willing to give up their power to the Aisha followers, to the Sunnis, because the Iranians are Shiites, and ISIS attacked the Shiites because the black flag was a Sunni flag, right? And Saudi Arabia do not want to give up any power to the black flag or the red flag. In fact, the red flag are Saudi Arabia's enemy. They will never unify the caliphate while Saudi Arabia are in power. And Saudi Arabia wanted to see these places get beaten. Saudi Arabia want to see Iran get beaten. They don't want to see Persian power expand into the Islamic world. They do not want that. They do not want Turkish power to expand into the Islamic world. And the fact that England helped Saudi Arabia liberate themselves from the Turks means that Saudi Arabia are allied with the English. And they don't give a fuck about your opinion. They don't give a fuck. The Turks took over all their land and enslaved most of them, right? They're not going back to that. They'll gain allies where they need to, because they're going to have to fight for it. Everyone has to fight for their land. That is a fact. And if you don't have good allies, you're fucked. The Saudis have managed to gain England as an ally against the Persians and against the Turks. And that's why Saudi Arabia were all in on 9/11. Because it benefits them to destroy Afghanistan and destroy Iraq and destroy Iran. This is a beneficial thing for Saudi Arabia. And they don't care if you like it or not. Now, that's the first story, right? That's the first story. I think the next story is the most important one, right? Because this is the reason for 9/11. Like, Saudi Arabia have this beef inside the Islamic world, but that's not the main reason for 9/11. The main reason for 9/11 is us, the United Kingdom. Now, war in Afghanistan, which is the first place we went after 9/11, that ain't nothing new. Do you understand? It's called the graveyard of empires, right? Now, if you look, Afghanistan is right next to Iran, but it's also on the border with India, right? And this is where the UK just get involved big time. And the other people that are really involved are Russia, right? Because when you get into northern Afghanistan, you start getting into the realms of Russian influence. Like the Soviet Union took all this. Russian expansionism into this area, yeah, was big. And it didn't just happen under the Soviets. Like the Soviets managed to convert all half of these fuckers to being communists. But the Russian Empire before that, when England took hold of India, right, they had borders here and Russia was here. So they started bordering with each other and they started opposing each other. It's called the Grand Game, right? Everyone's heard of it, but this is where it played out. And Britain, through India, seeked to control Afghanistan and they seeked to control Iran, because if they didn't, the Russians was going to get in there. When the Russians seek to control Afghanistan, and the Russians seek to control Iran, but like the Soviets went into Afghanistan and they got opposed by the West and by NATO. It was massive. And, you know, fucking what? 20 years later, we're back there, fighting again, fighting over Afghanistan. Now, England has been having it with Russia in all these areas for 200 fucking years. So that's England's gripe. Now, England also have the Suez Canal, right? So England have got interests all here and all here. I don't know how many interests the English have in India anymore, but you know, I can't see them not having any. And they 100% don't want India to fall into the realm of the Russians. If you notice, Trump's just put big sanctions on India, and this is why. It's all to do with the grand game that gets played out between Russia and England. Now, you might think, well, why the fuck would America get involved? Why do America need to get involved in something that is so far away? Look how far away it is from America. It's miles away, yet they're balls deep in this shit. So why? Why are the Americans balls deep in this shit? Right, well, the art of war says that when you're weak, you need to make yourself look strong. And when you're strong, you need to make yourself look weak. So, in global politics, yeah, and geopolitics, like, what? Who's the strong one? Who's making themselves look strong? America do, don't they? They go around telling everyone that they're the strongest fucking country in the world. You can't fucking defeat America in a war. They can beat anyone, anywhere. They could go to the fucking moon and beat fucking all the people on the moon if they wanted to. Like, literally. That's what they say. But the British Empire occupy all of America's northern border, right? All of it. Now, Mexico occupy their southern border. So, America have had wars with Mexico and Canada, right? Now, they battered Mexico and they fucking went to shit against Canada. They fucked up against Canada, the British Empire. They didn't win that fucking war in 1812. They fucked it all up. But Mexico used to be all the way up here, and Mexico lost 50% of their territory, and the British occupy America's northern border. And when the British and Canada and America had their war last time, America tried sending in 3 armies, right? Now I think one of them went through here, and one of them went up here. And all 3 of them armies got fucking battered. Didn't get fucking far. They all got sent packing. And the invasion of Canada failed. And the US invasion of Canada failed. You don't want to fight the British. It's a bad fucking thing to do. If we're very, very good at warfare, there is more than one way to skin a cat. Right? If you want to understand America and how you can defeat America in a war, really, all you've got to do is go and look at how Nineveh fell. Now, Nineveh was over here, right, next to Mosul. And Nineveh got attacked by everybody, all sides. And before you know it, Assyrian Empire was gone into dust, into the history books. And before it happened, nobody could ever fucking imagine it. Nineveh was the strongest. It's even made it its way into the Bible. Nineveh, the fall of Nineveh, right? Now, America can be done in the same way. If Britain really wanted to, they could make deals with Mexico, and America could be fucking carved up. Do you know how many people would want to carve America up? Russia would help you. Fucking all these people here would help you. There's so many communists around there. There's like 1 million fucking men on the US southern flank ready to fucking fight. And they can be activated. America have to be strong because they are so weak. And Britain can just make itself look like this little tiny island here. But in reality, they're fucking strong as fuck. We've got all that. And you might say, oh, we don't have it anymore. But that Australia's army is still loyal to the fucking king. Yeah, Canada's army is still loyal to the king. You know, when a war fucking kicks off, who do you think they're going to fight for? They're going to fight for the fucking king. That is how the fucking operation goes. Now, if America can strip away the king's support, yeah, then fair enough. They can be victorious. But all history says, don't fuck with the British. Right? We've done the Spanish. We've done the French. We've done the Germans. We've done the Italians. We've done the Russians. We've done Napoleon. We've done Hitler. We've done the Habsburgs. We've done everyone. Don't fuck with England. America's only national security threat is England. And if after the War of 1812, America decided, they did a national security review and decided that the United Kingdom and their empire was America's only national security threat. And the best way that they can get rid of that national security threat is to make friends with England. And that is why England and America became friends. That is when English and United States foreign policy aligned. America made the decision that whatever England were going to do in the fucking world, they were going to support it, because they did not want any conflict of interest with the United Kingdom. The United Kingdom are the driving factor, not the United States. The United States hate us. They hate us. They want to fucking destroy our control over Canada. But that means a war. So they have to do it on the sly. There's a sly factor to all this. It's almost like England and America have got a fucking gun pointed at each other, and they're going, should we just be friends? Like, yeah, let's just be friends. Well, I'm not going to fucking lower my guns. Just make sure you don't fuck me over, and I won't fuck you over. That's where they're at. And America, they want to be the world's superpower, yet they've got a fucking gun pointed at their head all the time. And let's not even get into this fucking warfare, what you can make against them. We know how much money we could pay Mexico to go to war with America. Have you seen how many Mexicans are in all these places now? Fucking hell. There's hardly any English people left. United States could easily lose some of them southern states. And they could easily fucking get fucked up round here. Now, they do have a big, strong military. But there is more than one way to skin a cat. And that's just how it is. There's loads of different stories from history what prove just because you're the biggest, hardest fucking guy on the block, it don't mean you can't get done. Everyone's been done. everyone. Assyria, Babylonia, Egypt, Greece, Rome, the Hun, the Mongols. Everyone gets done. England will get done in the end, but we have an empire like nobody else's that is spread around the world. The Mongolian Empire was not even as big as the British Empire. The Mongolian Empire was all in one place, whereas the British Empire, there's a fucking bit of it there, there's a bit of it over there, there's a bit of it down here, there's a bit of it over here, there's a bit of it over here, some of it's there, some of it's there. We can fucking attack you from about 90 different directions. I won't even get into the fucking, all the islands what we control. We can attack America from north, south, east and west. And that is a fact. And America are all in on British foreign policy. And British foreign policy, they have to be all in on our foreign policy, otherwise they'll be fighting a war with us. And they don't want that. So when Britain decide they're fucking going to war over here with Russia, yeah, America are all in. Now America have got their own beef with Russia, but it's not the same as Britain. Because America's empire is there all in one place. It don't really butt up heads with Russia. America do trade with everybody, and they'll try and protect their trade interests from Russia, but it's not a geographical struggle. With the UK, they are in a geographical struggle with Russia. And Israel is just an English colony. That's how I see it. They don't fucking run the world. The Jews don't run the world. They do the bidding of the crown. Right? So that's Israel. Fuck them. England use that as a forward operating base. We are going to fucking defeat Turkey and move them out of Constantinople. We are going to fucking defeat the Persians and remove the threat in the Islamic world from them. Because they're fucking not right in the head. The Turks and the Persians are fucking not right in the head. The Arabs are alright. If you notice, the Arabs are alright. They're pretty chill, man. But the Turks are not. And the Persians are not. They're not chill. They've been having wars for fucking 3,000-4,000 years. They are masters of warfare, masters of propaganda. Half the stuff that you see in the world is just all bullshit, and it comes from their propaganda fucking arm. The BBC have even been putting fucking Turkish and Iranian propaganda on about Israel, because that weakens us, it weakens the empire. And if you not noticed, the British fucking media, for some reason, people like David Lammy, they're trying to carve up our empire and fucking give it away. It's like we've got traitors in the fucking house now. But the reason for 9/11 is because of all that. Saudi Arabia need help against Turkey and Iran. Right? England, they want to oppose Russian expansionism into all these fucking lands. America, they're tied into English foreign policy because it's just how it is. They can't get away from the fact that we occupy their entire northern border. And then you have Germany. Well, Germany, they're on a completely different fucking game to everybody else. Right? Because they want fucking revenge. They want revenge. That's how I see it with Germany. They want round fucking 3. Third time's a charm. We'll fight a different kind of war this time. We're not going to fight the First World War. We're not going to fight the Second World War. We're going to do something different. And that is mass immigration. Fuck everyone up. Try and destroy the United Kingdom. Try and fucking weaken our power so that we can't come and invade them from this side. And then when they have this side on lockdown and there's no threat from this side, they can then make war on this side. That is German policy. Believe me. And they are 100% in a struggle with the Russians. And it is a geographical struggle with the Russians. It's different to us, right? Because Russia can never invade us, and we can never invade Russia, right? they have to go through too many countries and we have to go to too many countries. It's just not a geographical struggle in that thing. We're butting up with Russia with our empire, and Russian empire is butting up against our empire. And that's how it's been for 200 years. Whereas Germany, fucking hell. That Kaliningrad used to be called Königsberg, right? And the Russians fucking destroyed it and took all the German cities down, all the fucking German buildings down, started building Russian buildings. They got rid of all the German people that used to live there, right? And then sent loads of Russians to live there. They ethnically cleansed that city. And that city used to be the capital of Prussia. That is where the Prussians are basically from. And the Germans ain't having that. You think they're just going to let Poland and Russia have all their territory? They're never going to stop. That's why they oppose Russia. That's why they were more than happy. The Nazis, like George Bush, they were more than happy to do 9/11 because that got everybody into a battle with Russia. And they are now one step away from defeating Russia. And that's why the Germans are all in on 9/11. Everybody has their own little different reasons for being in on 9/11. And it all revolves around fucking Russia, UK, Germany, Saudi Arabia, and USA. I don't even know if I've explained it very well, but they are the reasons for 9/11. They needed to make war. That's what they went with. Fuck knows if I've explained it.